I've been with General Motors Design for over 30 years. When I joined Holden, it was initially to do interiors. Since then, I've worked on every vehicle up till now that Holden has produced. Australia's, right from the start, has always been involved in automotive or transport, if you like, in some form, whether it was local coach building, all the way through to where we are now, where we have effectively global vehicles that are tuned to local conditions. You look at the Holden brand, and we can take it all the way back pre-1900.
GMH accepted the challenge. GMH said, in response to the request of the federal government to all interested parties to undertake the manufacture of motor vehicles in Australia, General Motors Holdens Limited submitted a proposal to design and manufacture an Australian car and utility to cater expressly for Australian conditions.
The isolation in Australia, the conditions, the weather, all of those things led to an industry that was developed locally and was very specific and did things, created solutions that were specific to Australia. As contact and travel increased and people had more knowledge of the rest of the world, so were solutions shared, from Europe, from America into Australia. GM and Ford eventually entered the market here in Australia, and so the march towards the local large car, the Falcon on the Commodore, or Kingswood in the past, happened. Australian customers at the time wanted their own Australian vehicle, a large car, 3 burly blokes across the back seat, an ability to take the family long distances comfortably. A little bit in the American ethos, I suppose, but again designed for the conditions here very specifically. But the industry's changed now. The whole pace of industry and the pace of development is moving fast enough now to have opened the Australian market up to, I think it's more than 64 brands now. And that means a lot of global product coming into this market, and largely the Australian car, the Australian large car, has gone away, and we are all going to deliver global solutions. There's a lot of discussion about, did we get it wrong in the industry here by pursuing a large car for so long? I don't think so. I think the rest of the industry, though, in a free market like Australia, has just come in and created more alternatives. People are considering, the economy itself, and I suppose people are starting to get serious about the environment. That heralds a turning point, but we haven't seen it hitting too hard yet. I think the industry has always looked to the future. This is a long-term game we're playing. If we said that there's a turning point now, it's probably there's an intensity in material development and perhaps powertrain solutions and fuel solutions to deal with what we know will be fairly aggressive legislation that will affect the industry. Electric vehicles are fabulous. I mean, without getting too technical, the moment you touch the accelerator, an electric motor supplies all its torque. The feel of power is there. You're not necessarily accelerating any faster than you would otherwise with a petrol engine, but it feels a lot more fun to drive. The electric car market in Australia is fairly small, and at this point I think they tend to be a reward for people who see value and see, and are emotionally attached to delivering back to the environment.
Super Cruise is a convenience feature that is an aid to the driver that allows them to take their hands off of the wheel and the feet off of the pedal. The vehicle will steer and brake and control speed to the lanes and the other objects around.
We have the capacity right now to do autonomous vehicles, and you're seeing more and more vehicles that have a lane departure, crash warning, pre-crash setup. The vehicles have the capacity to do it now. It's taking that next leap, and not just the vehicles, but the infrastructure itself on the streets has to change. We went to the Shanghai Expo with 3 vehicles called Envy 1, 2 and 3. They showcased GM's work in autonomous driving. That was back in 2010, and that gives you an indication of how much involvement we do have. There's a level of confidence that a passenger, because you are a passenger in an autonomous vehicle, has to have. It's a leap of faith to take all the control away from you as the customer and the passenger and give it to a vehicle, trusting a system. I think that's the biggest leap. We can do the technology today. If you think hard about it, why automotive design is so special to, or automotive and cars are so special to people, is they have a presence and an emotional appeal that's I don't think you find it much else. Maybe you find it in the fine arts, in sculpture or a painting or something. There is a visceral, emotional connection to a good design, and to be part of creating it, that's for a customer as well as a designer. But to be actually creating it as a designer, it's that much more powerful. The ultimate experience is to see the damn thing on the road. Something you created, or you had a hand in it, because none of us do it by ourselves. We're part of a team who share a huge passion, and we get paid for it, and sometimes not enough, but it's something you do because you enjoy it. You really do enjoy doing it every day.